Alright, I'm back. It's going to be probably the last video I make. Just, huh. So I raise under the gun. I get 3-bet out of the small blind by somebody only, looks like 65 big blinds effective. I'm just going to call here. Okay, so he checks to me. Go ahead and bet this out. Okay. You know, it's interesting because if I would have 3-bet him and basically got it all in with my jacks, he might have had ace king or ace queen, and I would have helped him realize his equity with all 5 of his cards coming out, and he might have ended up beating me. So, kind of getting a feel for how to defend against 3-betting. That was a good situation because he 3-bet me. He was out of position. All right, I'm going to go ahead and raise this limper up. And 2.2, I'm going to go ahead and call here. And I'm going to get away from this hand. But I was actually in position with that hand with pocket jack, so that kind of helped me out in that situation. All right, I got the ace of hearts behind. Check, check. I'm going to go ahead and bet this out. Yeah, so this guy with a small stack, he's really just going to kind of get picked apart. And anytime I have ace high or anything connected, coordinated, I'm going to raise him in position and then just try to play a pot. He's pretty much been calling the raises, and then my continuation bets have been working on him. So you watched my last video I made, I got into a hand with him where I had pocket tens and he 3-bet me on the button, and I just ended up folding the tens because I just didn't think that that's the type of player that's going to make a play on you, given how passive he's been playing. He's like the only person at this table that's limping in pretty consistently. All right, ace queen. Ideally, this folds to me. Or actually, ideally, if this guy raises, yeah, I'll be happy to. I'm just going to 3-bet him light, and I'll be happy to get it in with such a small stack. So hopefully these guys fold, just get out of the way, and I can go heads up with him. I'm gonna call his bet if he shoves here, and I'll be happy even if he just folds. Yep, king 10, look at that. Yeah. So lose to a guy playing bingo, type of things that happen. All right, so over here on this other table, raise 5-4 suited. We're now at a 5-handed table. So I'm just mixing it up a little bit. Still have this small stack in the middle here. All right, so that guy probably had a pretty good hand there. Pair and a draw of some sort. Limps in again. I'm going to be out of position here. If somebody else raises him, I'm just going to get out of their way. And on a flop top and bottom pair. So this guy's probably got something pretty decent here. Let's see how this guy here plays it. Wow. Wonder what he had with this flop and that board to call that far and then just not call that river. But not everyone plays cash games ideally, as far as the fact that like every chip is worth a dollar amount compared to tournaments, where tournaments, you might make a decision, you're down to your final. If you bust, you're out of the tournament, and I'm just gonna go ahead and fold this here. But in cash games, you can always reload. But some people, they sit down short stacked and they're just kind of playing for fun. So I kind of had a feeling this guy was. I mean, his eight would have played anyways, beat me. But I had a feeling this guy was kind of 3-betting light. I'll 3-bet light a lot too, even with Queen 9 suited. I try not to do it so much out of position like that. Because it's such a disaster if it comes back to me and I called there with that King 6. And he should give me the fold out most of the time, hands like that, but it is really a disaster if you end up getting called by something when you just have Queen 9. All right, so I thought about floating on that, but I'm just going to play pretty straightforward, especially against these guys. This table here seems to be a lot less aggressive than this table over here, so I'm just kind of playing a straightforward strategy. All right, ace-7 on the button. If this guy limps, I'll raise him up and isolate him. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet here. I get called by the first guy. He's probably going to tag along. This guy basically with that emoji just basically told us that he had something. A continuation bet this. So I'm going to raise this, even though I don't like being out of position against this guy with pocket 7s. He's going to call me with a wide range. Actually, I'm glad he did that because I'll just be happy to just get it all in. All right, so this guy raises me on this board. I got to go ahead and fold. All right, so I win a hand here, lose a hand on this table. So he was actually a lot stronger than I was typically giving him credit for. He had ace queen. Even if he did raise it pre-flop, I probably would have 3-bet him and got his money in. But gotta be careful that him limping in with pretty strong hands. I'm still gonna just go ahead and raise. Jack 8 suited on the button is definitely strong enough to raise and isolate him heads up. All right, flop second pair here. And pretty coordinated board. I'm just going to go ahead and put together a continuation bet. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check this behind. All right, so if I was ahead in the flop, I'm probably still ahead. I'm not going to go ahead and try to go for value here. Yeah, he had a 9, so I could have went for value, and he actually had me out nutted with his flush draw, so I'm glad those didn't come out. But so you're kind of getting a good picture if you're watching on Twitch or when I post this on YouTube of how I pretty much just take advantage of limpers and smaller stacks, raising this guy up. betting second pair. You know, I know his range was pretty wide. King 9 doesn't surprise me at all when he flipped that over. Don't think that it was a situation I could really value bet. The run out as far as the turn in the river, pretty much I believe that if I was ahead in the flop, I'd still be ahead there. But he could have pretty easily had King Jack, Ace Jack, hands like that. He'd probably limp in. Ace 9, Queen 9. Well, Queen 9 would have made him two pair, but any Queen rag that maybe he wasn't confident betting or checked twice to me. So I just go ahead and check that river. I think it's too probably not going to get any value out of betting. Well, I probably would have against this guy, excuse me, but given his range and my calculation at the time, it didn't look like a good bet. All right, so this guy just ran into a set from, oh, too bad. Looks like he's gone. Those are the type of players that you wish they did have more money, and that they can keep playing. All right, Ace King suited. Looks like we're actually three-handed here, so I'm gonna go ahead and raise this up. So I'm not gonna play three-handed, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave this game. And let me see if there's any other games that are open. All right, so he raised. So I just defended with the King Queen instead of three betting. Given how light people four bet in these games, I don't want to get blasted off that hand because it is a pretty strong hand. All right, so I turn a gut shot. He's gonna bet 4, so I'm basically getting about 4-1 odds here. Gut shot 2, we're just gonna go ahead and call. All right. So this did, even though I completed my straight, there is a flush possible. So let's see how this guy reacts to this here. All right, so if he'd have raised me, I'd have had an interesting decision. I probably, it just seems to me like a lot of these guys will raise and get real out of line on bluffs and things like that. So it probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to check that back to him and then call a bet. All right, so top pair with a gut shot, small blind versus big blind. I'm gonna go ahead and bet this out. This is the same guy I won it all in hand with not too long ago. All right, so now there's 4 to a straight on board. My 2 is basically is going to make a straight for both of us, so that's kind of counterfeited. Yeah, if I hit that, so it's going to go ahead and so he actually had he would have benefited if I hit that 2. He'd had a better straight draw, or he'd had a better straight, excuse me. So it's actually good that 6 did hit. Counterfeited his straight, counterfeited both of our straights, and we just chopped the pot. So basically WSOP.com won on that hand with the rake, so it is what it is. All right, Ace 9. I'm not gonna get too crazy three betting out of position. It's just not really something. It's not really my style. I think these 3 guys right here are regulars in this game. It seemed like they've been on a lot of different tables. Don't know about this this guy Jameson. All right, so raise the button. I flop top pair. he leads out into me. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and call here. Flush, it's the turn. He's going to lead out again. Just going to throw out a small raise. Kind of see where I'm at now. If he calls and checks the river, I would have just checked behind, and it'd have been too dicey for a value bet there, because even though I got top pair, he could have top pair with a better kicker. So all right. This table here, this 8-handed table, I think it's pretty much easier to play online with more players. One of the major mistakes that people make, fairly new players to poker, is playing just way too many hands pre-flop. And when you have an 8-handed table as opposed to a 6-handed table, they're going to make more of those mistakes. They're going to make more early position calls out of position, allow themselves to get raised heads up, things like that. So with my style, it kind of benefits me, the full ring games. I know it's not the most popular thing anymore, but it really does benefit me with my style of play. So everyone here at this table is everyone's here is in for the full amount, the full 100. That's kind of also a tell for online poker that I look at. If somebody's not bought in for the full amount, a lot of times when I see that, I actually think that they're probably a recreational player. Like that guy who was sitting at this table, or the other table I was at, but the guy that I was kind of taking advantage of, raising him when he limped, sitting with like just $30 at 100 max game. I usually just think you're a recreational player playing for fun, and not like one of the regular players that are really trying to eke out a profit. All right, if you're in the chat, I see on Twitch I have one viewer. If you're in the if you're viewing the stream, say what's up in the chat. I've mentioned this before, but I've just started streaming maybe less than a month ago, so this is all new to me. I'm just kind of having fun, recording myself playing poker, and I hope that people benefit from some of these videos I put out. All right, against a button raise here with 8-7 offsuit. All right, well, first off, ace-9 suit, I'm going to go ahead and raise this up in early position. I'm going to go ahead and raise this guy. He only has $30, so I'll pretty much continuation bet any flop. Yeah, so typically these guys sit with a short amount. They're really looking to hit a flop and get all their money in. They got such a small stack to pot ratio that they really don't have implied odds to chase, like, say, like a gut shot or something like that. Or they're not really going to peel with like 2 overcards. So I'm just looking to continuation bet them and pick up a small pot when I can. And then, of course, I play enough positions on them Eventually, I'll have a big hand on them. I'll have a big hand against them and try to win a relatively big pot. So, all right. So this guy just open shoves 37 big blinds, and this guy over here laughs at him. So, all right, this is gonna be interesting. He might be on tilt or something. Ace four. This guy called with queen jack. Look at that. All right, I hope this guy reloads. Yeah. All right, so the short stack to our right, he just got a little bit more chips. So if he limps in again, he's gonna have 60 effective. I'd have went ahead and raised him. I'm gonna raise up Jack 9 suited here. All right, so I'm at 22 minutes on my stream, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off.